Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Workforce Workshop. In today's episode, we will talk about resource tracking. Let's begin. Fewer than half of organizations have the capability. Excessive spending, compliance issues, and more can result from this lack of tracking. It is possible to seamlessly track non-employees that do not fall under the standard process of sourcing contingent workers. By including these often overlooked workers into your overall program, you can reduce risk and add value to your organization. Many companies cannot achieve full compliance when it comes to particular categories of non-employees, such as former executives on retainer, countries or business units that resist change. Other labor categories such as janitors, landscapers, guards, etc. are often overlooked and accounted for. Regardless of the types of labor, the locations, or the employee circumstances, you can overcome these barriers and achieve complete compliance by incorporating non-employee resources that fall into these categories. Tracking and reporting are made more accessible by the resource tracking functionality in some of the best vendor management systems, VMSs. So, what is a resource tracking? During a project, resource tracking involves monitoring the work that each resource completes. You can use this content to understand better how resources should be allocated during the planning process. When resources fill out timesheets, you get accurate information about how long they spent performing their assigned tasks. First, teamwork is key. It becomes impossible to allocate resources if you don't track your team's time, responsibilities, and workload. Second, management of tasks. Resource tracking software has an activity center that lets you manage tasks efficiently. Team members can update several details about the tasks as it progresses when they are assigned a task. They can update things such as status of the proposal, open, in progress, under review, etc. Progress update shown as estimated percentage of the task completed, estimated number of hours, identifying a budget, detailed timeline, send messages, and upload files. You can check up on any task, leave a message, and add attachment if needed, or leave a message. BI data points can then be calculated and used to generate a more accurate resource loading report, all recorded within the software. By documenting your available resources in the same place, you will ensure that nothing falls through the cracks in reports and simulators. Third, keeping track of time for every project manager to plan resources. There are specific data points they must consider. Time is probably the most critical data point here. Your team needs to estimate time accurately in order to finish projects on time and within budget. Training your team on the importance of recording data is your responsibility as a leader. The information you need to make your project successful isn't available without proper time, tasks, and progress documentation. The fourth point, putting your dream team together. With leading resource management software, you can track time in 4 different ways. To track time for your own team, you can go and access the following tabs: Activity Center, Activity Detail page, Mobile app, Assignment page, etc. The fifth one is to implement a universal prioritization system. Prioritizing is one of the most significant dilemmas and business challenges of our time. Organizations that are successful in addressing this problem are leaps and bounds ahead of the other. You can prioritize in many ways. Organized by the deadline, based on what's due first. Critical path based on what's need to be done before moving to the next step. Resource available based on who and what is available. Results on value of the project on the organization often used to plan and manage portfolios. The next is timesheets for resource tracking. 4 reasons to use them: BPM software or resource management tools can be used together with resource tracking timesheets to achieve numerous benefits. You can manage timesheets with your original plan by including digital forms that employees fill out and have directly loaded into your tool. First, enhanced project pricing. Are the time and effort you put into your projects and resources are too much or too little? The project manager is left to guesstimate how much time it will take an individual resource to accomplish a task. Rather than make specific estimates, they can make broad ones. This kind of estimation is inefficient. Here's an example of resource tracking. Engineer Ashwin has completed a series of calculations as part of a broader project. Assuming a day rate of $1,000 per day, Ashwin Resource Manager estimates that he will spend 1 day on the task. However, in reality, it will take him 4 days to complete the calculation. He records the work he has done each day in his timesheet, which is centrally accessible. The resource manager will be able to estimate more accurately in the future how long a project takes and how much it costs. Second, choose the most valuable projects. You can better understand the types of projects that are most valuable to the business when you use resource tracking, and you can also identify projects that they are taking too long or not contributing enough to the company. Utilizing a resource tracker with your project management software will allow you to identify projects taking too much time from your employees and make these processes more efficient and worthwhile. An example of resource tracking: during a meeting with Sheila, the CEO, you are asked to provide her with a report about the company's most minor and major profitable projects. And as a result of not having timesheets for resource tracking, you could only give high level of information about revenue and time spent. On the other hand, timesheets allow you to get as much deeper understanding of the number and determine how expensive and how time-consuming certain kinds of projects can be. Using this information, Sheila will be able to see where the real value lies. Third, enhance accountability and transparency. Another advantage of resource tracking with timesheets is that your resource management becomes more transparent and accountable. So when employees are rewarded for producing the highest standard of work, it helps you identify those who are pulling their weight so they can improve. When introducing resource tracking, you should take a sensible approach, teaching your employees why they need to fill out timesheets so they can become partners in making it work. Example of resource tracking. So George is a resource manager at a software development company. His job involves assigning tasks to employees. Unfortunately, one employee never appears to complete his work on time. A timesheet will help George understand whether the employee received adequate training, whether internal or external factors are affecting their workload, or if they are juggling multiple tasks at once. He will understand that, so George will be able to gauge the workload health of his team and find solutions for issues they are encountering by answering these questions. Resource tracking allows you to know exactly who works for you, where they work, what they do, and which on-site and off-site employees have access to your data, systems, and facilities. The relationship between non-employee and their supplier can be identified in this straightforward step. Additionally, you can quantify and manage spending easily for all non-employee not sourced through your contingent workforce management program. Fourth, entrace workers can threaten your organization. Companies often overlook non-employee workers for a number of reasons. According to research, only 26% of organizations have a centralized program that manages their extended global workforce. Some of these organizations have extended workforces working in countries with low adoption rates. Many companies have business units that resist changes in their sourcing process. Still, other lack of central repository for managing and tracking extended workers. You may face security risks as well as compliance issues as a result of untracked workers and be unable to make comprehensive business decisions regarding your entire staff. Next aspect is the perspective on your non-employee. It is possible to reduce these risks in a simple, straightforward manner. An impeccable software integrated with the best resource tracking solution will allow you to identify all extended workers and report on them, regardless on their type, location, or circumstances. Automate the onboarding and offboarding process for all extended workers to ensure compliance with organizational policies, mitigating tenure, access, and other policy risks associated with previously untracked resources. By integrating HRIS security and access systems, duplicate and manual data entry can be reduced. So now let's talk about its advantages and features. It offers compliance and complete headcount visibility to all your supplier engagements, and it is an excellent alternative to full sourcing automation. When tracking spending, obtain the insight you need to know what you are spending on contingent workers. There are resource tracking software tools that provide streamlined process and preset dashboards that collect bill rates, assignment duration, and plans and actual work hours to estimate total and managed spending. 2. Managing resources. Capture auditable information about all employees and contractors who have access to your physical and intellectual assets in a centralized repository. Organizations define business rules governing how employees are engaged, created, and terminated. Resource headcounts, bulk uploads to resource pools, amendments, extension, and more are included in this functionality. 3. The onboarding process. Utilize the automated onboarding process to ensure compliance with organizational policies such as background check, asset management, and access management. Onboarding functionality includes integration of third-party background check services, integration of HR systems, onboarding notification, and alerts. 4th, the offboarding process. Automate your offboarding process to terminate employees properly. There are several features included in the tracking software. Offboarding functionality, including HRIS system integration. Example, initiating deactivation of building access, offboarding notifications and alerts. 5th, maintaining compliance. By automating compliance processes, you can ensure due diligence. Resource tracking software includes compliance functions such as background check requirements, tenure requirement, and credentialing. 6. Recertifying. Ascertain whether your non-employee workers are still engaged through the supplier on file. With this functionality, you can automate the process of ensuring that all your non-employee workers remain active. Additionally, you can set deadlines for suppliers to respond to your requests. Recertification features in resource tracking software include supplier validation requests, recertification workflows, and more. In conclusion, resource tracking can be implemented as a standalone solution or as an addition to your existing system to track and manage your entire extended workforce. Utilizing resource tracking, non-disruptive, simplified deployment, you can quickly gain visibility and compliance for previously untracked workers and minimal charge management. Resource tracking can be a practical first step when implemented as a standalone solution. That's all for today's episode. In the next one, we will talk about the 7 steps to manage indirect spend. Links to everything will be in the description below. If you like our content, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button. It will notify you with our new content that we share with you every week. This helps us to produce great content for our professional audience. Let us know if there is something you would like us to discuss in future episodes. Please click the link in the show notes and you can address your questions directly to me. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.